All right. I want to welcome everybody on Afro Surge Radio. We're about to get this show on the road. We are broadcasting live on Afrimerican TV on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're getting a few little subscribers now. Watch out, y'all. I'm becoming a YouTuber. Not as viral as my daughter. My daughter is like all viral and everything. But we'll get there. Okay. So waiting for the 8 o'clock hour. Hope everybody's had a lovely week. I know in Boston the weather was excuse me. The weather has been a bit spooky. But it wasn't half as bad as they made it out to be. So we're happy about that. All right, let's get this show on the road. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marlon Solomon. I'll be your host today, and welcome to the Village Square, your community Zoomcast podcast for Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021, live on Afro Surge Radio, live on Afrimerican TV on YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel. I'll be bringing you our weekly community Zoomcast, letting you know all the things you need to know to get you over the hump and into work every early Wednesday morning. This program is brought to you by the Afro-American Culture Initiative, a Boston-based nonprofit organization with the mission to build cultural bridges in the African diaspora through education, technology, and travel. I'm Marlon Solomon. I'll be your host. I'm also the CEO of the organization. We do this community Zoomcast every Wednesday just to, keep our community updated on some of the more important things that we need to know, right? Try to go through the news the best I can. So, the state of our village. The state of our village is happily bored. This has been like the second week of the new administration, and it seems like, and the quiet, the boredness, the methodicalness has provided. Last week we were talking about how there was kind of like a new hope, and now it's kind of settling in. There's no crazy tweet or wild policy or egregious outlandish crazy thing going on. There's none of that. Everything is just normal and boring, and I think we're happy with that. While there's still a lot of tragedy, and I mean, technically, there hasn't been a lot of great change in our situation, but it's just nice to know that everything is making sense. There are things that I disagree with the current administration on, but hey, at least you can see their rationale and why they're doing it, and it's like that overall they're going in the right direction. So that's where we are. We do have some good news, although there's some caveats in the coronavirus front. The misinformation, we're now beating it back a bit, but this wouldn't be possible unless we didn't have all the noise, all the insanity coming from the highest office in the land that would be drowning out all the things that are truly important to us. So so that's the state of the village. Like I said, we're happily bored. So let's get to our coronavirus numbers. In Massachusetts, we had most of these numbers are from Monday, and we had 2,239 cases with 45 deaths. We've been hovering around that same, which is down from last week in Massachusetts, where we had almost 2,500. Now we have 2,200. But the deaths, we're a little bit up, 45 compared to 42 of last week. So we're basically hovering around the same. You really can't around, the numbers fluctuate, but we're still hovering around the same. For the whole country, we have about a total of 2.6 million cases and 885 total deaths. That's what the CNN is reporting for this morning. And I want to point out that last week was 425,250. This is really, just think about that, guys. I have all the records. When Biden was inaugurated, we had 400,000 deaths. On the 13th, we had 381,000 deaths of January. On the 6th, we had 357,000 deaths. On December 30th, we had 338,000 deaths. So literally, we've had about over 100,000 people die in the United States from coronavirus this year, and it is February 3rd. Let that sink in. I keep all my records. That is so painful to think. So when we say that we have problems and things are still going on in this country, please let's remember that about a month ago, at the beginning of the month, we had about 338,000 December 30th. Now we have 446,000. In 1 week, we had about 20-some thousand. In Texas, 355 people died compared to 308 of last week. As in a day, we had 3,400. This week, last week, we had 4,200. So the deaths, apparently, the hospitalizations, we're beginning to see a plateau, and in some cases, it's the deaths are going down. So that is very, very, we're very, very happy that is happening. We're very happy that is happening, right? So, of course, we want to, and this is happening. Is it magic? No, it's because one, we're following the advice, right? The public health advice, right? Our campaign, of course, is to do your research and make your decision. And we try to help you do your research the best you possible, giving you reliable sources of information. But overall, it hasn't changed. We want you to stay fit, exercise, take care of your mental health, eat healthily, anything you can do. Now I went to this coronavirus vaccine town hall. Yes, I do the extra research. There were some doctors there, and I talked to them. I said, what about these, remedies? There's garlic, onion, ginger remedy with honey and some other things. You mix it up, you boil it up, you put it into. So does that help with coronavirus? They said, look, there's no evidence that it would help coronavirus per se. However, anything that would provide you with vitamins and a more healthy diet would obviously be helpful to you in general. And we would hope that would also help you with, any sort of illness you get, including coronavirus. But does it help coronavirus specifically? There's no evidence to suggest that. But if it means that some of these things could even help you mentally, just by taking all these vitamins and things like that, will make you feel okay. At least you're doing what you can to stave off any illness. That's good, right? So I want to encourage everybody to just be healthy. Wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, stay away from indoor crowds, especially. This virus is airborne. We do not want you in closed environments where you can breathe it in the air. It can happen. I know a friend that went to a restaurant. The restaurant, what I felt was overpacked, and they, even though they were supposed to have like 25 or 50 people, she said that no, that, they're a business. Nobody's checking them on an everyday basis. Yes, they may say they want to be 25% people there, but by the time you have a lot of people come into the thing, are they going to say no, 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 no? No, they don't, because they need money as well. And that's how she got coronavirus. So stay away from indoor crowds. Contact trace. Contact trace means being aware of when you're in your infectious period and staying away from people. Usually that happens 3 days before you get any symptoms, and the infectious period usually lasts from 10 to 14 days. So just remember that, and then get vaccinated, right? I can't stress this enough. This is extremely important to get vaccinated. Even your flu shot, get vaccinated. Why? Because of especially now that we know about the variants, which are the changes in the constant changes in the constant changes in the in the uh in the virus. The virus is changing, it's mutating, it's evolving, so right, because the virus is trying to survive. So if as it moves from person to person, every time it infects another person, there's a chance that it's going to mutate. So that's why the vaccines are impossible. And we're doing all this so we won't have our hospitals overridden with a lot of people, right? And then we won't be able to get thus the standard services. So these are the basic reasons why these coronavirus is going down in our community. And we're very, very excited about that, right? But let us not fall into this like false sense of safety, because yes, things are getting better, but they were horrible. So if you go from 4,200, 4,300 to now going to, now it's 95,000, I think is the case of the hospitalizations. So hospitalizations were 130,000, I think, at the worst point. Now it's down to 95,000 people. While it's better, that's still 95,000 people. That's a lot of people. And it probably is the most amount of people hospitalized in the world. Because, well, one, we have the kind of capacity to hospitalize everybody. But yeah, still a lot. So let us not get into this false, I don't like saying things are getting better per se. They are getting better, but I don't like saying that. I don't want people to think, oh, well, things are getting better. Let's relax. And we're actually seeing some examples of what I think is a little premature. And, I just think it's a little premature. Yes, we are having the least amount of hospitalizations that we've had in about 2 months, right? Things are back down to where they were 2 months ago. But when things were going up 2 months ago, we were like, oh my God, things are getting terrible. So, my brothers and sisters, I want to implore you to still remain vigilant. Do not get lulled into a false sense of complacency, of relaxed feeling of, oh, everything is now going all right. That is another thing about, what's going on with the new administration. People are kind of feeling a little more relaxed, right? Oh, we now have somebody with sense in there. So we can now, everything's going to be just great. Not necessarily. And this is why I do these shows, because looking at the science, looking at what everybody is saying, and extrapolating out what is really going on, I feel that we are in possibly what they quiet before the storm. What do you mean by that, Marlon? I'm saying that it may even give it, there is a chance, especially with the variants out there, which are more deadly. Don't, this is another thing that they're saying that is not is not true. While there's a caveat to it being more deadly, I will agree to that. It is still, these variants are more deadly. And the reason why they're more deadly, because they spread faster. This whole thing is about stopping spread. And if the coronavirus is able to replicate and go into 10 people, when before the old one would have been, the old coronavirus would have gone into only 5 people, then that's more people going to apparently die, because there's more infections. We know how the drill goes. More infections, more illness, more hospitalizations, more deaths. So no matter how you want to cut it, yes, maybe pound for pound, the old coronavirus and the new coronavirus may be not as, they may not be deadlier, but just the fact that it's spreading more is makes it more deadly. And there's a lot of pressure. I get it. There's a lot of pressure on us as as human beings. That one, social distancing has been now going on for about a year, almost going on a year. In March, beginning of March, it'll be a year where all the lockdown happened. And in this year, we have changed a lot. We have experienced a lot, and we have, um, truly um, had to change a lot about even being human. Even me, I'm just being so. I mean, I really want to hang out with people. I'm not even a hanging out kind of person, but I really want to hang out with people because honestly, it is a lot. But, and of course, there's the economic factor, which is the real pressure, and I understand that. A lot of the public health professionals out there, they understand it too. The loneliness, the lack of money, the lack of progress, you don't want this hopelessness and depression and a lot of stuff like that to just seep in. So, like in Massachusetts, they've been rolling back the restaurants restrictions, which I think is a big mistake. They are doing it in Los Angeles and other parts of the country because the economy is just, I mean, how can people survive like this? I completely get it. But in the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's like, what are we willing to tolerate? Because in the end of the day, these variants are threatening to also reinfect us. So you could have had the coronavirus, and these new coronavirus will come and you'll get infected with the new coronavirus. So we are not out of the woods. They're pushing for schools to be reopened. I get it. I mean, my kids are not doing as well as they would be doing if they were in person, especially when you have kids that have special needs. So it's very, very, I mean, nobody wants that. I completely get it. But if this is where we are in the pandemic, it's easy now to say, oh, well, we have to just do this, we have to do that, and everything should be safe. The CDC released a study that says that schools are relatively safe. Relatively safe meaning they're safer than outside. Now, does that mean that schools are still not going to cause people to die opening the schools? Yes, it will still cause people to die. That is what's going to happen. More people will die with more interactions. But is it what it is a pro and con, benefits, analysis to see if it is, we should still do it. Well, the jury is out. Also, we have to be very careful with these studies because some of these studies, they focus on the school, which is good, but then think about all the supply chain, all the things that go into making a successful school day, right? There's bus drivers, there's people coming in from all sorts, there's more food, there's more needed. So therefore, all the people to provide the food service and there's, and it's not just in the school. What about the support services to get to school, the Uber drivers, there's a whole lot more economy that goes into a school than just what happens within the four walls of the school building. So invariably, making the schools open will invariably cause more people to get sick and more people to die. Then of course, if people go to school, then maybe more people will be able to go to work. If more people go to work, then they're going to be infecting people in there. So I just I just want us to be cautious, and these are facts that I'm giving you. It's not hyperbole. I'm just saying that with more interaction, there will be more infection. With more infection, there will be more illness. With more illness, there will be more death. There's no safer. Yes, is it that we cannot just stay at home? That's a whole nother ball game. But I'm here to give you some of the facts, and the facts is the more interactions we have, the more illness. Now in Europe, which I found to be always a little bit ahead of what happens in America. So like when the virus started, it was going really big and heavy in Italy, and now the variants are more widespread in Europe, and they're getting, like it starts in Europe and then it comes over here. That seems to be how it has been moving. And they have a real mixed bag. Countries like France and Spain, they have it open. They have their schools open, but the schools are open with a lot of precautions. While in Germany and I think Ireland or Portugal, it's completely closed. So it is a mixed bag. Europe, England is closed because they have the variants, and these variants are more deadly. That is this. There's some politics, and this is where I said that I have some disagreements with some of the ways the current administration is running. They're giving us, they're not necessarily untrue, but they're emphasizing parts that benefit them, right? They're not going to say that they said, oh, they're variants. The variants are spreading faster, but they're not going to, oh, but it's not more deadly. And I think that is an inaccurate way of portraying it. It is more deadly. And there was a great graphic on TV, something to do with on CNN. Basically, they tried to compare that if the virus was twice as more deadly, like meaning one, I guess I don't know how they one pinch, one one pinch of the old coronavirus versus one pinch of the new coronavirus variant, right? Meaning pound for pound. If if the variant was more deadly in that regard, yes, there would be an increase in deaths, but it would be marginal. But if you have a faster spreading, double spreading of the same coronavirus, so we're saying pound for pound the same, but it's spreading faster, it will kill by 11 point, like exponentially, like 11.4 more people than the original virus now moving. So spreading is actually more deadly than the actual coronavirus being more potent. That makes sense. I hope I'm being clear. So that is an inaccurate thing. So there's also this week, I was very surprised because, everybody has been giving the New York State Governor Cuomo a lot of credit for the way he's handled the coronavirus. And it now seems to be some funny math in the way that it has been reported. So the whole story goes around that in New York State, their coronavirus reporting methods were kind of inaccurate. And what it was they were reporting that New York State had like the 46th, like out of 50 states, 46th. So that means pretty good when it came to the deaths of coronavirus patients in old folks' homes, right? In assisted living old folks, homes. But the reason why that was inaccurate was because what would happen in New York would be that they were not reporting the old the patients that died from coronavirus that they sent to the hospital. So let's say you're in an old folks home, you're in an assisted living home, and then somehow you get sick and you're about to die, and they say, okay, you know what, let us send you to the hospital to make sure that you're going to get better treatment. Once they send you, they will not report that you came from the old folks home. So that made it seem as if the numbers from New York were less. Now, as a politician, I understand where they're coming from, right? Of course, you don't, hey, technically it's not the same. But when other states are reporting that, no, even though they're keeping those people in the old folks home, because I mean, you died literally, not literally in the old folks home, but figuratively, meaning that that's where you originated from, and you went to the hospital and you died a few days later. Now you should be counted in with that. So this is the kind of funny little emphasizing that's going on. So let us not be as if I'm trying to just give complete, you know, cover to, the current administrations, but that's what's going on. So we have to be very careful. Me personally, I think that the evidence is not. I think that there's been no evidence on the variants yet, and the variants have extra. They're just doing too much. The new coronaviruses. There's a South African version, the Brazilian version. There's the UK version, and apparently there's a version in America that they have not even known yet. So now I don't like using the geographic location because I don't want you to get a stigma with, oh, people from England are like this, or people from Africa, or people from Brazil are like that. But the technical names are just so confusing. Nobody will be able to know that these variants, there's not enough data, right? They don't have the data. So that for them to tell you that it's safe or not, maybe with the old virus, this would be okay. But considering that some doctors are saying within the next 6 to 14 weeks, we may be seeing something more deadly than we've ever seen with the new variants. People getting reinfected with the new variants. So you already had coronavirus and you're going to get reinfected. Some of these variants are more resistant to the they're more resistant to the vaccines, right? So the vaccines are not having as much effect in curing them. This is a game changer, and it's just not convenient now that you say, oh, things are getting better, everything's good, we want to open schools, we want to do this, and all of a sudden you have a game changer that the variants are truly coming to get us. So that's my advice, and I think that it's something that we should all um 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 that's my advice, and it's something that we should all think about it, our and but from what I gather, my honest opinion is that the data does not suggest that. And in fact, the data would most likely suggest that we are in for some more hard times because of the variants that are out there. All right. Um, so the vaccine, let's talk about the vaccine. The equity is a very big issue. White people, as usual, are getting the vaccines at a way higher rate than people of color. Black and Latinx people are not getting the vaccine as much. The reason why, there's not enough data to suggest, but obviously, we can take the access, the racial inequities built into the system. We can take the racial inequities built into the system. We can the vaccine hesitancy due to racial issues and Lack of trust, the speed of the virus and all this, that the vaccines were created. And I want to say this, I say this all the time. People, the vaccines were not created in a vacuum. They had been working on versions of the vaccine for years. This technology has been tested and reworked in different ways, shapes, and forms since the 90s. So this is not a necessarily new vaccine. It is like you just take the instructions of the vaccine and change just the one little part. It's like the difference between making chocolate um, muffins and normal muffins. Just because you put in the chocolate doesn't make it a whole different muffin, right? So this is what we really need to be telling people. So that, oh, the vaccine was created so fast. Also, the testing of the vaccine was the same as it's been for all vaccines. A lot of red tape was cut out. Like they didn't sign all the paperworks and do all the things that they normally do because of, and test it out for long term. There is not enough data to suggest, but the data that they do have on all the old vaccine and everything, they are saying the data suggests that it is safe and it is and is effective. So please take your vaccine. Um, they are coming up with creative ways. In Boston, they just opened the Reggie Lewis Center here in Roxbury, and this Reggie Lewis vaccine that we are this Reggie Lewis vaccine that we are vaccination center that they are opening is right here in the hood, and it is, and that's a black neighborhood, and we're very thankful that they're opening it up there. It right now is open to people 75 and older. So hey, please get everybody down there. I think they can take about 500 people a week. I mean, a day. They're taking like 500 people a day appointments. So please get online, go to our resource hub, and you'll find the information of how to get your vaccine. Lot of misinformation out there. We had, Hank Aaron, rest in peace. He just passed away, and now there's a rumor going out there that he died because he went and got his vaccine a few days before he passed, and they said, "Oh, you see, the vaccine killed him." Well, the data does not suggest that. Okay, so and we have to listen to the data. I understand that. Hey, there's a coincidence. The guy was old, right? He was like 90 something or 80 something. I don't know. Let me not comment on his age, but he was an elderly gentleman. Things like this happen. Does that mean that he died from the vaccine? No, it doesn't. And, but I get it. The conspiracy theories are deep. The trauma is deep. And this is what I like to talk about because, a lot of the work we do in communities of color is about the racism and the fear and the trauma. And it really is just another thing that black people consider that white people do, right? That's evil. Oh, they don't want to give us a job. They don't, they don't want our lives to be easy. They want to lock us up, and they don't want us to have safe. They don't want us to live and be healthy. So we have to, deal with that, you know. So, let us really fight the misinformation. A lot of there's been a lot of equity, every issue to do with racism. Actually, it was these things to do with racism that did make a lot of changes in the medical community. Now, I'll be the first one to fault the medical community for not communicating this at a, at you know at a good enough pace, but that is, it is what it is, and we have to be very, very careful. Okay. uh Johnson and Johnson vaccine is I guess this week they're going to put in their application for emergency use in the United States. That is a very good vaccine because it's cheaper. It is one dose. It is not as efficacious, meaning it doesn't have the same effect as the Moderna and Pfizer, which are 95%. This vaccine is coming in at around 66%, but it has an 85% The data suggests it has 85% um, efficiency in getting people not seriously ill, right? Because remember, the vaccine may not stop all. Maybe you'll get a little sick, but I'd rather you get a little sick than really sick, right? And definitely prefer you to get a little, sick than to die. So it is very important. If you see any vaccine out there, get it. There's no, oh, this is a good vaccine, the bad, I want to wait for this. No, get a vaccine immediately, especially with these variants. There's a study which still needs to be peer reviewed about the AstraZeneca vaccine, that it actually may stop asymptomatic spread. That is extremely, extremely important, because we know about 40% of all the infections are coming from. No. I think it's higher. Well, you know what? I'll be not sure, but let me just say that the data suggests that there is a lot of asymptomatic spread, meaning you do not show symptoms, but you're spreading the virus, right? And this, the vaccines in general it's likely that they will either slow down that asymptomatic spread. So that is very, very, very important. And we're very happy that that is going on. Right. So anyway, that's enough for our COVID-19 update. We want to thank everybody. Please be safe, get fit, wash your hands, wear your mask, socially distance, contact trace, and vaccinate. Now on to our news watch. So this week, like I said, it's going to Biden. Is the Biden, second week, going on third week of. In fact, today is, I think, exactly, 2 weeks ago that they were 2 weeks exactly, and it's nice and boring. Everything has been going very smoothly. I think a lot of executive orders, a lot of return to decency. In fact, yesterday, it was a very good remembrance of Officer Sicknick, the Capitol Police officer that died in the January 6th insurrection. They have not found a culprit yet, which is very disappointing, because he did not have any, like, there's no footage of somebody punching him and then, oh, that's what made him die. So, but because he apparently, he left that day, the insurrection, and later on in the day died from his wounds. So, but they paid respect to him by letting his body lie in state at the at the um, um, at the Capitol building, the scene of the crime, unfortunately. So much respect to Officer Sicknick. We thank you for your sacrifice. Thanks all the men and women in uniform that are doing all they can to keep us safe, keep our democracy safe. So it was nice to see the President Biden and Dr. Joe Biden pay respects by going to the Capitol and honoring his memory. Um, and So that's just, it's just that kind of thing. The return to normalcy, the decency, um, has been just so exciting. And we can't wait for, we wish him all the success, because obviously his success is the country's success. Country's success is our success, and even the world's success. So that's been awesome. Of course, his diverse cabinet, people are getting confirmed yesterday. Ali Mayorkas, he's going to be the head of the Homeland Security, which is huge because of they handle the immigration. He's the first immigrant. Pete Buttigieg now is the first openly gay Senate confirmed secretary. We had retired General Lloyd Austin, who's the first Black. I'm so proud of him, because, like I said, a lot of Black blood has been spilled for this country, and now finally we have the first Black defense secretary. So we're very, very happy with that. And he's African American, not African, Caribbean or African African immigrant American, so that's also big. So that's kind of what's been going on. The president has been focusing on trying to get schools open, the economy. They're really working hard to get a new relief package, something really big. He's been signing a whole lot of executive orders, and like he said, he's been removing a lot of bad policy. The ones he signed yesterday, the immigration bill to help all those kids that were separated at the border, trying to help. There's still some kids that have not found their parents, and and that is just awful that the government would separate people from their children, and then now they say, well, we don't know where to find them because you're trying to send a message. So that kind of decency is really heartwarming, and I'm very happy and proud. And this is cuts across. There are a lot of Republicans that I've seen that are also very happy about this. That's actually the other big story, the bipartisanship and his push for he's trying to keep his word. They had 10 senators come in to the Oval Office this last week to discuss with President Biden, to say, okay, Biden, we have some ideas that we think should be implemented, and he's looking forward to taking some of those ideas. I don't think he's going to go down on the price tag per se, but I think he does. There are some ideas, like there are people who are getting a whole lot more money, that are making like over like 300,000. Like there's a lot of people making a lot of money that maybe don't need to have this stimulus, right? That are getting it. I get that. Um, um, it will be advantageous for them to work together. So let's work together, I'm just like, but I don't think he's going to compromise on, like what he said, meeting the moment. So let's see what comes out from the stimulus package. The moratorium on evictions was extended to March 31st, which is a big one, which means that if there's a CDC declaration, please show it to your landlord. And if you show it to your landlord, they will not be able to kick you out for lack of payment, at least by the end of March. So let's see what's happening. What else is going on? AOC, that's Alexandria Cortez. She came out with a very heartwarming this tweet, in a video describing her fears, especially, she said she was a sexual assault victim, and how experiencing the January 6th insurrection made her feel, I guess, vulnerable, because she feels like, for people who don't want to take responsibility for what happened on January 6th, this is sort of like what happens in sexual assault when people say, look, just get over it. Look, women that have been sexually assaulted, they need to be listened, they need to be heard. And I understand where she's coming from. This is an abusive cycle, right? And we want, and especially the Afro-American culture, we definitely want to make sure that women have a safe, and feel safe, and feel like their words will be heard. And what she's trying to say is that we should not gloss over it and make it, downplay it. We should take and hold people accountable for their actions, right? If they are sorry and if they're contrite, then we give them ways to improve themselves, and we work on it with them, because some of the issues with sexual assault and things like that, these people are also scarred, and they need help, serious help. Let us not, I try to balance it, because I don't want people that are out there that maybe, oh yes, I've done something wrong. I don't want you to think that you can get better too, right? But we still must hold you accountable for what, if there's any sexual assault that you've committed, we must hold you accountable, but we also must provide you avenues for healing, because we don't, in the end of the day, we don't want anybody to be hurting. And not to get segue off, that's a real sensitive subject for me. But The point is this GOP civil war. In the Republican Party, they're having a fight between the Trump people and I guess what I would call the good Republicans, the Republicans that they just believe in, in their traditional good ways. They believe in facts. They know they lost the election. Okay, we have to try harder next time. We have to get better at this and then get better at that. And right now, the Trump Republicans, the insurrectionists, where the racist and conspiracy theories lay within the Republican Party, have now grabbed a foothold, and they're threatening like a cancer. Mitch McConnell said it was like a cancer. They're trying to take over the whole party, and now it is just too much. And I really think that the Republican Party, the way we know it, is over. In fact, the good Republicans are leaving that party because they cannot be associated. Yes, we like small government. Yes, we like physical discipline, and we're pro-life, and I get all those things. I'm religious and all these. I get all that. And everybody, I have no problem if you believe. I don't believe in all those things, but it's still the truth, right? The fact that now those things are no longer part of the Republican lexicon. Now it's all about, conspiracy theories and communists and this and that, all this anger and hate. They thought that it was just, it's something that's just always on the side. Now it's the main part of the party. And they have this lady called Marjorie Green. She's a Georgia congresswoman who is now under serious fire for her conspiracy theories, downplaying the Parkland shootings, the school shootings, because she's pro-gun. So she just, this is all staged. It's not real. People died in schools. People died in schools because of gun violence. And she said it didn't happen because she has the pro-gun and this and that. So she's under attack from all the Democrats. Democrats want to remove her from her positions because she's been given positions in the Republican GOP. And the GOP is now in a tough situation because on one hand, she's getting a lot of support from Trump. On the second hand, she is not Trump. And the third hand is that she's dangerous because all these conspiracy theories are now getting branded in the Republican Party, the insurrectionists. So they don't know what to do. They're not speaking about her. And this is really sad because there was something I saw on the news. What was it about? It was like, that the Republicans were more upset about Black people kneeling on, and this goes to the racism, and this is what we got to understand. This is the narrative that we've got to fight back against. That Americans, these very Republicans, were so upset at a Black man kneeling in front of the flag than they were about white people storming the insurrectionists and talking about conspiracy theories and saying that Nancy Pelosi should be shot, and all these things are, it's bad. They'll say one or two bad things. But when it was the Black people kneeling, oh my God, they were up in arms. It was a disaster. The head of the Republicans in the House, Representative McCarthy, met with Trump to show a picture of that he's, supporting Trump. Even though Mitch McConnell says that this Green lady is a cancer and all these conspiracy theories are all a cancer. It's really sad. They're going after Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney, I do not agree with Liz Cheney on a lot, but I do know that she's a normal human being. We just disagree. I don't agree with George Bush or Mitt Romney or John McCain, rest his soul, and a lot of other Republicans. But guess what? They tell the truth. We win some, we lose some. But I do not agree with these right-wing, far extremist racists that are just threatening to throw the whole country down. And now, finally, we go to the impeachment, because you can see this impeachment is coming up, and what's going to happen. It's unfortunate that they're complaining about and this is their opportunity They're complaining about all the racism and Trumpism and this opportunity to kill it. And they won't kill it. They're going to acquit Donald Trump and set a terrible precedent, because in the end of the day, this just shows that this impeachment process to me is broken. There is no check on the president, because if this isn't impeachable, then there's nothing that is impeachable. They impeached Bill Clinton for getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. Now, and if that can be compared to this, it's just terrible. So anyway, let's just so anyway, we're done for our little news watch bit. Everybody, let's stay informed. We got to know what's going on. I know there's a lot of misinformation on there. I know it's not that exciting. It's better to watch your shows. I've been watching Snowpiercer. I like it. And all these other great fun things, but you got to watch the news. You got to know what's going on. Stay informed. Do your research, my brothers and sisters. All right. You actually see this Black History Month. We have a lot of webinars we got going on. We are going to be doing, we have about 10 free webinars. Come learn, and it's all dedicated to the Black queens. We have a lot of our sisters that have been out there with us. Afro Surge Radio. Please go to follow us on Afrimerican TV. Subscribe on YouTube, because that way we are going to be broadcasting all of these, so you'll be able to watch it even if you don't get a ticket. So I'll do a little bit about the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics have not been doing so good on our sports watch. They have not been doing so good. The Celtics were lost. I think they lost, like, out of the last 8 games, they lost about 5. So they have not been doing good, but it's been real close games, real searching out. We're getting all our players back. Kemba Walker and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They just played like 2 or 3 games together. They're still getting back together. We lost Marcus Smart for 2 to 3 weeks in the game versus the Lakers. That Laker game, boy, that was a tough loss. Lost by 1 point. Kemba Walker, he's still getting his legs back. So I'm not going to be too harsh, but he did miss the last minute shot. So we lost to LeBron, but hopefully we get them back when we go to LA. So yeah, like I said, Marcus Smart is out. Romeo Langford is perpetually out. I don't know whenever he's going to come back. Pritchard, apparently he might be back tonight. So looking forward to seeing Peyton Pritchard. He was out with a small injury. So tonight is the second day of a back-to-back. So we'll see if Kemba plays today, because he's still on a bit of a restriction. So they say he doesn't play second game of back-to-backs, but let's see, because we really need him to get in rhythm. So, but they played tonight versus Sacramento. The Celtics are out west doing a West Coast swing. So if you want to watch the Celtics, all the games are extremely late. The NBA is thinking about their All-Star game. Please vote for Jason Tatum, but especially vote for Jaylen Brown, because he really deserves it, leading our team in scoring. That's supposed to be March 7th in Atlanta. So looking forward to that. On other sports news, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. It's almost like we still have the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, because we all know that Tom Brady is the best to ever do it. And so this Sunday is the Super Bowl. Can't wait. Excited about that. Yeah, that would be exciting. And versus Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the reigning Super Bowl champs. So it's old versus new. So we look forward to that. It's going to be exciting this weekend, Super Bowl weekend. Please stay safe. Just because it's Super Bowl doesn't mean that we should now forget that there's coronavirus. Okay, so let's stay safe. Just staying with the people that you're supposed to be with, because in 2 to 3 weeks, we don't want a Super Bowl bump because everybody hung out and got infected. So please stay safe. So let me give you, Afro Surge Radio, I want to thank you. Please Check out our Black History Month webinars. We really, really, really want you to check them out. Yesterday we had our first one with Gloria. Had a cooking um, 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 demonstration. It was really good. Had a few people there. About I think how many we had sign up? About 23 people. So that's pretty good. We really appreciate everybody that came out. The videos on Afro American TV, our YouTube channel. So check that out. Um, this weekend we have a culture reveal with Jessica. We're gonna find out where she comes from in Africa. Really excited about that. Um, so looking forward to that. Um, really exciting. This is we do this Libs and Me challenge, which we give away a free DNA test every year, and I will give it away to somebody in the African American community here in Boston. And Jessica won her DNA test, and we've gotten the results, and I'm really excited for this Saturday because it's the beginning of a journey. Um, African Americans, of course, were disconnected from their African heritage, and now there's technology that allows us to see the modern day country and the modern day country um, and tribe that they come from. So Jessica is about to learn about a new part of her life, and we thank God for that in her life. And it's really big for those of us that have African heritage and know African heritage. We kind of take it for granted. For those who may not have any African heritage, they don't really understand. Okay, what's the big deal? Just trust me. Trust me. It's big to know where you come from. If you don't know where you come from, then you don't know where you're going. So we really hope to see you this Saturday, 3 p.m. February 6th. Get your tickets on Eventbrite, and we'll look forward to you coming out there. All right. Last but not least, like I said, we've got funding from the Boston Public Health Commission to educate people on the coronavirus. We want to encourage everybody to do your research and make the decision to join the fight against COVID-19. Stay fit, exercise, get your mental health, going on, do things to make yourself happy, and healthy diet. Because whilst if there's some remedies, take your remedies, natural remedies, anything that will boost your immune system, do it. Now, while there's no evidence that is going to help you with COVID-19, just being more healthy in general is a good idea in all the time. So we want to focus a lot on that, right? Wash our hands. We have a lot of before I go from forward, we have some COVID-19 webinars that are just about that and things to do with COVID-19. So please, staying healthy and just natural stuff, because there's more to it than just a vaccine. I get it. So please do all that, but wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, stay away from indoor crowds. I know a person that went to a restaurant and caught coronavirus. She was wearing a mask, doing everything, took the mask off to eat, came back 3, 4, 5 days later, she was sick. Right? So we must contact trace. You got to remember that you have an infectious period. Make sure you stay away from people during that infection period. It happens usually 3 days before you showing symptoms and lasts for 10 to 14 days. Also, please get vaccinated, do your or your flu shot. That's going to help us, especially with these variants. We will get they are showing evidence of reinfections. So don't act as if, oh, well, I got the thing, it's over. It's not over. All right. Because we definitely don't want our hospitals to fill up. So we just definitely want you guys to be safe and stay, just stay aware, right? Let's be vigilant. If you want us, we're offering free consulting services for communities or people who want to develop, maybe they want to, have a webinar or workshops and things like that, or they want more information to share with their community, with their co-workers, what have you. Give us a call. Check out the resource hub, and we'll be glad to we'll definitely be glad to help you out. So please, please, please. And like I said, all this is from the Boston Public Health Commission. All right. Last but not least, we will be launching. I have on the 27th or 20th. I haven't finalized it because we're looking for a special guest. And if our special guest shows up, we will be launching on the 27th our Afro-American Academy, giving you a little rundown. We're also going to be raising money on that day for Afro-American Academy. So please, 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 looking forward to seeing you that day. So without further ado, I want to thank everybody for attending this week's episode of Village Square. We want you to remind you to stay safe. Check us out. Go to our COVID-19 resource hub. We have a lot of great resources. If you want any consultancy, check us out. Send us an email at info@afroamerican1.org. We're down into independent research, social justice, project management, content, educational content creation. Once again, building cultural bridges in African diaspora through education, technology, and travel is the Afro-American Culture Initiative. Subscribe on YouTube. I want to thank everybody at Afro Surge Radio for their continued support and patronage. Check us out on Eventbrite, so that without further ado, we'll let you go. But thank you so much and have a blessed day.